And we're live. Hello, dear world. The transmission of the Gnostic Takeover live stream is back online. I took some time off, probably 6 weeks or so. And there was a time when I only did live streams. I really enjoyed it. I did one nearly every day. It was really interesting. Good experience. However, I had to unwind. And here I am back again. For good reason. I got something for you. Something quite special, I must say. And given these times we're in, okay, when I observe most of the alternative media that I used to follow, and I've been going into this the last few videos, the reality loop of the media, meaning mainstream media and alternative media, going on about the same old. We know what we're talking about, and that peddles a lot of fear into people. It's quite understandable. I mean, look what's going on in the world, or what is being portrayed as what is going on in the world, with this entire program being rolled out and all the boxes are being ticked to implement the dark new world order. Okay, the world order that forces that are a manipulative force. Okay, and we can talk about this force also, which what they want to implement an entire control structure, a dystopian digital totalitarian control structure like the world has never seen before. And that's freaking scary. And when I look into the alternative media, and I've only recently just started watching a few videos again, I think I can observe it's quite defeatist. Defeatism and repeating over and over the same things again. So what's new? Well, if I'm facing, when I know what we're facing as a human species, which is total connection with AI, okay, the end of the feeling of life, the feeling that we know possibly of what it means to be a human being, to empathize with each other, to tell to each other, you know what, I've got your back. Don't worry. You've got a friend in me. Okay. And helping each other, being there for emotional support, hugging each other, just building friendship and being open to new ideas, and being fine when someone has differences in opinion. I think that's all things we really need to learn again. And when you're faced with the situation that this dark new world order wants to make machines out of us, okay, connect us to AI and have the end of humanity, that's the real great reset, that what they really mean, okay? And that's horrifying, okay? This is actually that's what I fear, that something like that can actually happen. However, it need not be this way. It might seem like everything's lost in some stages, and I've been there too, a lot of times, the last 1.5 years, ever since the acceleration happened. It's been there lots of times. However, perceptions, perspectives can always shift. It's like you're looking at something from this direction, you're looking at it straight forward, and it looks like that as it presents to you. You could be looking at a wall, you could be looking into a room. You've got that perception, and when you don't shift your awareness, that's all you ever have. It will always look the same way. And when I listen to some of the commentators in the alternative media, and I go back a year, same things. What do I mean by that? It's not exactly the same information all the time, but the output is the same. The end result is the same. So what do we hear right now? A lot. The cyber polygon, for example, or food shortages that are being manipulated to happen. And these are all things we need to look at and contemplate, okay? And prepare accordingly, okay? What does that mean? Food shortages, okay, let's find ways of creating our own food. And these are the sort of ideas that we should be getting naturally from the Earth transmissions to actually use the Earth's body, okay? That's real co-evolution work. To have your own garden and try as much as possible, to have access to that. However, what I want to emphasize is the focus. The focus, one side of the media, which we know is a complete scam. Okay, it's been for a long time, owned by some of the biggest corporations in the world, and you've got the same people in the executive functions. They peddle their fear propaganda the whole time, and that will never change until something drastically changes with us. You see, they've got their agenda. The mainstream has already no reason to continue talking about them. However, the alternative media then puts truth to the situation. So the media wants to make us look in that direction. Okay, so it's all about COVID the whole time. Nothing else matters anymore. Okay, schools, forget it. Culture, don't even waste your time going to a theater or listening to good music or going out and having a drink. You're having a laugh. You have to be safe and secure, and you have to stay safe and secure. There's no reason to have life or something. No way. So the media focuses our attention, and this is something that I will continuously focus on the coming videos also. Just about one of the most foundational things we need to grasp is that everything evolves and revolves around our perceptions of reality, how we view reality. What is the main focus? What drives our behavior? It's our perceptions. What drives our life? It's our perceptions. Okay, so the media, mainstream, lets us focus in that direction. Okay, and then the alternative media continues on along that direction, but adds truth to the situation. Okay, so all the elements of the narrative that has been formed coming directly from probably it's one of the main institutions, one of the main basics, the foundational layer that control freaks want to have control over is the media, to have the propaganda in place. And they form what is called in the media sciences a narrative. It's storytelling, okay? And one of the Gnostic intels is that the human being is a storytelling animal. We tell stories to each other. And in ancient cultures, they even had oral history. They would reproduce their own history, where they came from, what their tribe was all about, what they experienced, what their family lineage is, how they worked with the land, important information they gave to the next generation by sitting around a campfire and telling these stories, and having the younger generation reproduce those stories also, so they remember it properly and they can give it to the next generation. That's how the ancients used to do that. And that's why they've messed with history so much. That's why the Jesuits, for example, own most of the universities that I know of, especially in Europe here. And also the university that I was in, both of them, they're owned by the Jesuits. And the Jesuits are, what they focus on is the distortion of history, because that's where we get our identification as human beings. So the point I wanted to make is the human being is a storytelling animal, and it depends on what story we focus on. So the story coming from the media is virus, 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 and you have to be very afraid and you have to be safe the whole time. And the alternative media adds truth to that. Well, actually, it's this and that, but it's the same narrative. And I have to say, the alternative media, and I don't say everyone, and I don't say that people are not doing a good job. In actual fact, a lot of the people do great research, and it's great, very good information that they present. However, what I emphasize is that they stay on a certain level, which is still within the control structure. Why? And why am I even making this critique? Do I want to put something over them? Do I want to make myself look better than them? No. No. Something what I love is healthy critique. It's very important that we point things out to each other and give each other healthy critique, and that's what I'm doing here with the alternative media. It's something that's come to my attention. That's why I talk about this. Okay, it's healthy critique, but why? Why am I doing this? It's because the alternative media is giving far too much credit to what I describe as the evolutionary force in creation. So in the world of the occult, okay, in occult knowledge, Hermeticism, Gnosticism, instead of taking the version of Christianity, okay, and everyone is allowed to believe whatever they want to believe, okay. I don't believe in any religion, personally. I focus on dynamics and principles and how they work in the real world. Spiritual principles that are natural law principles, the natural order. Those are spiritual principles that govern a realm that we, with our physical vessel, occupy. That is governed by spiritual laws that then filter through as physical laws. But it all starts with the spiritual. And those are the most hidden principles on the planet. So once we have access to those principles, we can shift the dynamics. And that's why I like to use Plato's cave as an allegory, because it explains the world situation perfectly. Observing the shadow projections on the wall, and be careful to not stay stuck in that cave of just observing that which is being portrayed on a surface level. We need to go deeper than that. Much, 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 much deeper. I've looked into all of these things, and I continue to. I love studying history, for example. I love studying the history of this cult, okay? I love studying the dark side in actual fact. I look deep into the psychology of how they program human beings, okay? How this mind control system is set up, what the patterns are. Oh, mind control, interesting. So that deals with Darwinism, and Darwin saying that the survival of the fittest, that's where you get the class structure. Interesting. Okay, so human beings subordinate within a class to a higher class, and in that sort of paradigm, which I call the old paradigm, I'm going to get into the new paradigm, as this is a portal to the new paradigm reality. But first we need to talk about the old paradigm before we talk about the new paradigm. And the whole basis of this, of mind control, of this psychology. That's why psychology is so important, to get a grasp of the basic components of it, because then you can break out of prisons of the mind, which the matrix is. The matrix is a prison for our intellect, for our mind. And that's why I focus so much on it, because there's so many angles to it and so many different light angles of where you can see the whole basic structure of it and what the matrix really is. Okay, because it's not only a prison. That's also interesting. It's not only a prison. So psychology is important, and breaking free of mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Whoa! None but ourselves can free our mind. We need to remember that. Remember that, okay? Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Think about that the next time you hear someone say, well, we still gotta wait until the masses wake up, obviously. I've been saying all of this the last 10 years, that this was gonna happen, that the New World Order is gonna be implemented and there's gonna be a crash, and Bitcoin is the alternative to all of the world problems. And I've been saying all of this for 10 years, and now it's all coming true, and we just gotta hope that the others wake up. When are the people finally going to wake up to the fact that they're being scammed? Why are human beings so stupid? Why don't they get that this is a lie? Why do they do all this shit? Why do they get the vax? Why do they do this? It's all dependency. It's dependency. What is the matrix? It's dependency. No matter what you're dependent on. And that's why this is one of the things I've really had to put down, is that conspiracy mindset and that loop. Waiting for, and then trying to tell other people, you need to wake up. When the awakening of others has nothing to do with us. No one can actually wake anyone up. No one. Is that shocking? Good, because it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. Everyone, every individual is sovereign. It's the most foundational thing of this creation, that you know, and you not only know it intellectually, but then once you know it, you get the input. Then you have to process that information. I'm sovereign. Wow, what does that mean? I process it. And then you output it. You use that insight. You use it in the real world. I am a sovereign being. Wow. What does it mean? I said it in the last video. And boy, oh boy, is that something you can repeat, repeat, repeat. Propagandize yourself with that. I, as a sovereign being in my state of sovereignty, I am the center of all existence. Nothing else exists outside of my sovereignty. It is the first thing that ever will exist and the only thing I really ever will know. The only thing I know is my existence that has to be sovereign. Because slavery is an illusion that needs to be believed in. I am the center of existence. And when that is the case, all possibilities exist at all possible times. And this dark, occult, New World Order power structure, construct of manipulation and perception hijacking, making your perception focus in the mainstream realm of having to be afraid and keep your distance and worry tomorrow and forget about life because you have to stay safe. And in the alternative media, it's we're the awake ones. We're the ones who know what's going on. The truth is that this and this and this is going on, and you've got this cabal in the background that own the financial system, and they've restructured the world, wanting to link it into world government. They own the institutions. You've got multinational corporations and China running the whole situation, everyone economically dependent on China, the whole world system being restructured through the new Silk Road in China. And it all runs in toward direction of technocracy. So we're the truth movement. We know what's going on, and you need to wake up to this. Independency. And then we're dependent on others, which is horrific. Imagine. It's horrific that you need to hope that they're going to get it. All your power is gone in that moment when you believe that. How sick is that? Yeah, let's just hope that the others get it, because I've been saying this for 10 years. I've been predicting all of this, and I'm so intellectually clever, and I just need to wait till the others get it, and then we're going to be in the free world. No, it just doesn't work like that. The matrix is dependency. It's attachment. Attachment to all ideas also. Maybe reality is different. Maybe it is different. So let's take it like that. The source of all creation, of all life force energy, okay? The evolutionary force in that direction and the 180-degree opposite, the involutionary force. You've got synergy of the evolution, moving forward like a plant grows. That's evolution, that's synergy. The earth working together with the seed and all the elements to create food, to create fruits, to create vegetables. Evolution, synergy. Involution, the other side, entropy. And the source is paradoxical. And what I like to use is a coin. You use a coin. You flip a coin. There's two sides to a coin, and the edge that connects both of them, a bridge. So there's two sides to a coin. So there's two sides maybe to everything. If the source is paradoxical and everything originates from the source, everything is paradoxical. And then we can start to think in a different way. That changes our perception. So for a new paradigm, We need new ideas. New ideas. And from the one side, when you look at the coin from one side, it says that the matrix control system wants to control and enslave you as well as me, as well as all of the human family. They want to control all of us. And I don't like that one bit, and I don't have to like these people. But it doesn't mean if I don't agree with them and I don't like them and I get angry about them sometimes too, definitely. I mean, go on my YouTube channel. I went bonkers sometimes. Yeah, I've been there. And now I feel much better having gotten rid of that. Righteous anger. Look at Mark Passew's presentation on that. Genius. Correct. That's when you get in touch with your emotions. So on the one side of the coin, this matrix is a prison. It is. Prison for the mind. And I'll have another video the next few days. Well, continue on this journey of the matrix and perception. How it is all based on perception. Look forward to that one. But what is the other side of the coin? Maybe there is a link between this artificial matrix construct and the source, the natural order. Maybe there's a connection between those, because they can't be separate from each other, can they? In a 100% connected existence, 100% connected uni or multiverse, when everything's connected, it can't be separate from each other. So there needs to be a link. And there is. From my experience, and I don't need a research paper on that. Oh, what's your proof? Where's the study? I don't have a study for that. I have an experience that I share. And we need to trust each other more as human beings and actually listen to each other's stories and what experiences people have had. I've learned most from people talking about their experience. We learn loads from that. And from my experience, every time I have encountered dark forces in this lifetime, and I have had quite a few encounters, guess what? When you work on notices of liability and you're really trying to make a difference in the world and you're going for it, yeah, you will encounter them. They work through people, and some people are actually 100% possessed by this dark force, this archontic force. Okay, energetic beings. And like Wi-Fi, you don't directly see them, but you can also see people with black eyes. I don't know if people have had these experiences. I've had them. People suddenly having black eyes. Okay. But through these interactions with dark forces, I learned the most. And that's why, looking at it from a different angle, maybe everything serves a purpose towards our learning. And once we get the learning lesson of what we're involved in right now, and this pinnacle of this crisis that we're approaching right now, when we get that learning lesson, the crisis ends. Can we imagine that? Instead of going off into cyber polygon warfare, or they're going to switch off the internet and they're going to do this, they're going to do... Has it happened yet? No. It's a possibility. Fine. But let's imagine, okay, and that's what I'm going to continue to do now, is imagine the end of this crisis and how it's going to look like. Okay? And that's where I want to get into new ideas. Because that's what I say often in my commands that I do here in the forest, right by my parents. I actually live in my parents' home for now. And we've got a lovely forest, 5-minute walk from here, which is my favorite place here. And I go in there in the forest and I do my high commands to stabilize my reality. Because these energetic beings, this archontic force, imposes bubbles on us, okay? Thought loops. And whenever I'm in a thought loop where I'm becoming aware, it's like, these are not really my thoughts. Who's imposing that? Okay, let me go and do high commands. I command all imposition to be disconnected and to bust those bubbles, I choose so. And I do my commands there. Choice and commanding ends that. And that's where you get all your power. And we need to imagine and invent reality, okay? Because instead of consuming and the reality that is being formed by these forces outside of us, okay, and shaped, that's why they call it social engineering, okay? That's why they shape constructs. That's why they build structures, okay? And they have the employment system in order to give you the opportunity to have a job, and you're working for them instead of working for yourself and empowering others, but working for yourself and working together with other people, which would be the new paradigm, and away from these jobs. We don't need these jobs anymore. Oh, you like your job? Yeah, that's good. Okay, if it goes into the direction of assisting humanity into the new paradigm. And the old paradigm of this control structure, how do we know that we're now entering into a new paradigm, and what a lot of people call the new earth? How do we know that? How can we know that? Can you feel it? Just feel into yourself right now. Where's your perception residing? Where's your awareness? Is it sort of like, don't really know what's going to happen, I hope for the best? Or are you actually imagining and tuning yourself in to inventing reality? Instead of consuming information and taking the idea of a world system and living by that which was given to you, or do you choose to invent reality yourself? Imagination is the greatest gift that we have as a human species. And one thing they really, really, really don't want you to know about, when you know that in your sovereignty you're the center of existence, humanity and you as a human being, conscious and aware of this fact, are in the biggest position of power when you know that humanity on planet Earth has the first say. I really don't care how many beings have visited the planet and are interested in the planet or whatever. If they show up, we can have a chat, maybe. But they need to respect that the indigenous living beings here on the planet right now, human beings, have the first freaking fucking say in all of this. And not some Klaus Schwab, Dr. Bloody Evil. He can fuck off, in actual fact. Okay, we learn from the Dark Force. But I can also tell him to absolutely stuff it and leave. We don't need any of these people. And that's why I get my motivation when I see some jerk off like this guy.
People will not get the old normal back anymore.
No, what balonies, you know? They have no power. It's just that that's why I talk about the loop of the mainstream and the alternative media, is because those energetic beings that are behind Klaus Schwab, what Carlos Castaneda said is the topic of all topics of the archons. How about their absolute speciality, what they're best at, is manipulation and deception. All the alternative media is so focused on the agenda of the dark force. And they're going to do this now and they're going to do that, and it's all a scam, and we need to wait for other people to wake up, while giving all their energy to the force that wants to enslave them, who they think they're exposing, when actually they're giving all the energy to it. Maybe this archontic force, this negative, parasitic, dark force, is so weak, but so insidious and very good at manipulation that it needs that focus of attention. And go back to my videos and watch that picture of Plato's cave. Type it in right now. Watch Plato's cave. And the cave is the attention onto these archontic overlords. And if we were to withdraw our attention, our perception away from this dark force, the whole house of cards would crumble. And that's what I'm putting forward here. The old paradigm and shifting into the new paradigm. So the old paradigm is the paradigm of these dark forces, okay? So how do we know the old paradigm ended? By focusing our attention onto the new paradigm. And what ends an old paradigm? By knowing how the old paradigm ended and why it ended, okay? We need to know what ended the old paradigm and be done with it. Done. And then when we're done with something, I'm done with this old paradigm. Done. Then I can focus on the new. Job done. And now I focus on the new. And that's why the Gnostic takeover. This is the announcement. This is the announcement of 2021 absolutely actualizing new realizations, new ideas, and new is always better than old. I will only be talking about the new paradigm as of now. And I've been doing this for quite some time, I actually realized. But I'm only going to be doing it as of now. I will still delve into what the old paradigm was all about and the patterns behind it. I will still do that, yes. But the sole focus, I'll only be talking about the new paradigm. What do I mean by that? I'll be talking about how I'm going to imagine the new world. And I'm going to create it easily. It's going to become my new hobby. Hobbies, imagining the new paradigm into existence in the form of a new reality. That's going to be my hobby. And I'm going to love doing it all the time. And what I mean by that in the case of my life, for example, because I've got a court case coming up, as most of you probably know. And it's been on the back of my mind ever since the letter came in. And I was like thinking about strategy and like how I'm going to do this. And now I know it. I know it. I had a very interesting experience yesterday. Okay. Something the Gnostics in the ancient times also used to do. And to explore and connect with the transmissions of the earth. And that's what I did yesterday in the form of a psychedelic compound. And she gave the most clearest of advice, clearest of messages, pure connectedness. It was unbelievable, the experience. It totally busted the bubble that I was in. Because guess what? Guess what my awakening is all about? Busting my own bubbles. And there's many of them. How many? I don't know. How deep does the rabbit hole go? I don't know. Awakening is a journey. That's why I'm more focused on my own awakening and being aware of my own reality loops, those thoughts that keep reproducing. Because 97% of the thoughts we're thinking today were the thoughts that we thought the day before. And so it goes. And this is what I am going to get into in the videos as the mind of past experiences, which is the psychological program that the archons put us in. The mind of past experiences. And that's why George Orwell's quote, "Those who control the past control the future, those who control the present control the past," is so important. The story we tell to ourselves is what shapes and creates our reality. That's where it starts, the stories we tell to us. And that's why we have the George Orwell quote in mind. Those who control the past control the future, and those who control the present control the past. That's why they have absolutely screwed history. It's a total deception. This Darwinian perception, this stepwise progression, it's a scam. And what we're actually looking at with the industrial revolutions that we've had, and now we're in the fourth industrial revolution, and it all started at the end of the 18th century, is actually what we're looking at. And more people moving into the cities, and actually people coming from tribal life, okay, and life as farmers working together, and let's just basically say a different way of life. They moved into the cities and became employed and became dependent on the company. And instead of working for each other, human being to human being, I'll watch your back, you watch mine, and we have a great life, we became part of the company, the corporation. And what we're actually looking at from these industrial revolution and all the technical and the way they portray is like, oh, and there were these horrible kings before, when the king archetype, look it up, is actually that which we really miss in the world, someone who's a real king, and actualize that king archetype within us. Oh, but you're not allowed to be a king, are you? Yeah. Got to be a good old slave for these pathetic idiots like Klaus Schwab to run your life. That's why no one's allowed to be a king. That's why I like to look into it and piss everyone off. That this is exactly what it takes. What we're actually looking at, all the industrial revolution, and I'll get deeper into this also in the videos with slides, is a program of colonization of the earth. They've colonized the earth. And that's the big program. And the fourth industrial revolution is what they try with transhumanism, the end step of this hidden, energetic, archontic force of completely taking over the earth through colonization. They strip mine the earth, take out all the resources, build cities with the resources out of the earth, have all the people packed in there in the cities because everyone wants to get to their employment as quick as possible, and the employment is in the cities. Then they have the technology also to create floods and all and manipulate the weather. That's why, we have treaties on weather manipulation, which obviously can't be possible, but they've still got treaties, to not allow weather manipulation. And then people have to move away from the land and into the cities and be packed in the cities, which they want to create smart cities now and transform all the cities to smart cities. And the whole Agenda 2030 of the United Nations actually circumvents any construct of the nation state, okay, with a constitution like we have in Europe. Democracy is based on constitutions. They circumvent the nation states, and Agenda 2030 is actually implemented through the cities, which was started to be built up properly and more efficiently ever since the first industrial revolution. And that, what we're looking at, is a program of takeover by a force in the unseen that sucks of our energy. And that's why cities, as I observed correctly from Errol when he said it in an interview, cities are actually there to suck the life force of human beings. Vampirism. That's what we're looking at. That's the old paradigm. And that's what we're there to say no. How do we move into the new paradigm? Well, what I was shown yesterday, and when I do these sort of experiences and I share openly, okay, with everyone, is the earth communicates to me, and she does it every day actually. However, sometimes the opportunity just comes up and I go for it, and I get an absolute clear mind, and my perception is like the windscreen was sort of blurred, and you have a lot of dirt on the on the window, and then you clean the window and the window is clean. It's like, yeah, that's how we change the world. That's how we're gonna do it. And I was so in the back of my mind not clear about how this court case is going to run, because you have to realize I've got fines like ranging into the 5,000 euros or so. They want to send executioners and all that to my house door and take stuff from me and all that for daring. You know why they put pressure on me? Because they don't get my consent. That's why it's just pressure, 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 pressure. But I was like a bit uneasy. I was like, this is a leverage point, but I don't know quite how to play it. And yesterday she showed it to me. Think anew. Think anew. Believe in yourself. Absolutely believe in yourself. So there was, during the experience, lots of energy coming through me, like dense energy. It's like shadow energy, actually. And it's like, whew. But you just breathe it in through the heart and you transmute it. So what the earth was actually doing is just like, wow, there's someone who gets it, someone who actually wants to do the real work. And then she just gives this dense energy, your own energy, and what you're actually doing. And it's not the whole time that you do this. It's like, with me, it was like half an hour or so. But you transform massive amounts of energy, and you actually cleansing the field. You're cleansing the field for the earth, a co-creative project that we had going there yesterday in my garden. Dense energy coming in, like, and it was raining and storming, and like my inside and outside was merged together. It was just unbelievable. The earth was so tuned to us. It was beautiful. So we cleansed the field around us, and that's what's going to do. We need to all the negativity, all the darkness that has been going on the planet. Long before all of this scam kicked off, okay, and most people suddenly became aware, like, whoa, we really need to get into gear, because actually this is all really real. They want to enslave all of us, okay? But long before, it's always been slavery. We've always been slaves ever since the Second World War. And even in my life, I've not been free most of the time. What is real freedom? We're here to find out. We need to implement that by solving the root cause of the problem. And cleansing the field. What I realized yesterday is that the new paradigm and the new earth is a field of consciousness. That's the whole basis of it. That is the new paradigm. It's a field you connect to. So basically, what I can observe is, and what I would say, there's basically two realities running parallel right now. Two realities. And everyone makes their choice which reality they want to tune into. And it's like a radio switch. It's like a dial on the radio, a frequency. And you're like, this is shit. But is there a way out? Yeah, there's a different frequency. It exists. And I felt it yesterday. The earth really, really, really wants this just as much as I want it. Just as much as probably everyone listening to this here wants the new earth to come in, the new reality, where we are the masters of the universe. We are the ones who are not in a pyramidical struggle against each other, envy of each other. Oh, why is he better than me? No, not fucking interested. I want to work together. I want to know what your great skill is. I've got skills here. You've got skills there. Let's work together. Envy is for the archons. That's what they imprint on our own mind. Program to delete. And those two fields of consciousness exist at the same time. So what I was getting yesterday is that that's the whole reason for the smart grid. For electromagnetic radiation in the form of microwaves. It's a blocking frequency. It's a technical field, artificial reality, and a technical field that's there to block the natural field coming in, the signal of the natural field of consciousness coming in to our antenna, which our DNA is. Our human vessel, our human body is an antenna that can pick up transmission and transmissional frequencies. And what is your transmission? Another way of asking it is, where is your awareness residing right now? And the natural field, and this is also something I'll get more into. That's why here I'm just here to basically break the news that this here now on this channel will only be about the new paradigm, in which I will also go into the old paradigm and explain because there's a lot still needed to be explained, what the old paradigm is all about, to shift into the new paradigm. But I'm inventing the new paradigm, and now for the last 5 minutes, I'm gonna tell you what I saw for the future. So what I'm gonna do, she gave me the Maverick move, the Maverick card, and she's like, "This is what it is, and now you act on it, all right? Because you got nothing to lose, absolutely nothing to lose. So just go for it." So I've got a court case on the 29th of July, and this is the way I access the natural field of consciousness. Just to give you an insight, it's Maverick. It's a new idea, and it's interesting, and it's dangerous, and I love danger. I started to really, really, really love danger. I don't want to be safe in this comfort zone. I like to have it comfortable. Most the whole day actually today, because it was really intense yesterday. We stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning. And today I took it really easy, and today I was really in my comfort zone. I enjoyed that. But not for too long. The comfort zone, it's boring. I can't stand it. So I love taking risks. And I've only been doing this roughly for a year now. So I had to learn that too, because we're so conditioned and domesticated by this system to not take risks, when actually it's beautiful. It's a maverick move. So before my court case, what I'm going to do now is I'm putting all of my energy and my attention and my inventive skills, I'm calling in and organizing a peace conference 2 days before my court case. I don't know what I'll name it yet, but what I'm basically in court for is for the breathing of oxygen. And if I were to pay any of it, I'll be paying for breathing oxygen. That's how far we've got. And that's the leverage that I have, because it's funny that since childhood, I've actually had asthma. I've had asthma. So I thought this was about health. I can't wear this muzzle. In actual fact, that makes me ill. And I thought all these measures are for my health. But then your whole narrative doesn't really make sense. So I know the basic idea of it. I'm gonna do a peace conference 2 days before, invite all the press, and whoever shows up, shows up. That's out of my control. All I need to do is set the stage, get involved, follow along my idea, and actually put it into effect. Actually do it. Just do it. No stake in the outcome. If no one shows up and I look like the idiot, guess what? I don't give a damn. Because I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to prove. I'm just being me. And I've got nothing to lose. And a peace conference, because I decide. I, as a sovereign being, and guess what? The center of existence, independent of everything outside. It doesn't matter who's outside there and what they want to impose on me and what they want me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. Just going to do that. I don't care what others think. It doesn't matter. I do that because it just came to me, and it's quite funny. And it might just be the card that will make the whole house of cards fall apart. Maybe not. I tried it anyway. Who knows what will be the last drop? Okay, just one drop. It could only be one drop that makes the whole barrel go over and game over. And then we're in the new paradigm. Just that one drop. And you never know when's the last drop. And you've put so many drops in the barrel that you think it's never going to happen. And then, and it's there. Everything is impossible until it's done. We just have to imagine the new paradigm into existence and invent it and not wait for anyone outside of us to wake up. Forget it. If they ask, tell them. You can tease them a little bit and throw something in and see how they react and see if they want to talk about it. If they don't want to talk about it, don't lecture them, because otherwise you're not different to the Jehovah's Witnesses or any of these cults. Don't have to wake anyone up. Be active. So I got my wake up call with this court case. I'm like, wow, great. Let's make this happen. I love that. Thanks, state, for getting me to court for breathing oxygen. Thank you. I'm going to make the best out of it. That's leverage. And that's where you see the matrix is a prison, but that's only one side of the coin, and that's a choice. Oh, it's a prison, now I'm a victim. No, you're not. It's also school. And I will conduct that international press conference with absolute humanity and just being a nice guy and actually being myself, just always working for the best outcome for all sentient beings, including the evolutionary force. I don't hate them. What you fight, you become. Know the enemy and know thyself. And then you defeat the enemy. By moving to a higher plane, connect to the natural field of consciousness and bring that natural field of consciousness transmission into the physical realm through right action, which in my case is a peace conference. I declare peace because I know that everything we're facing right now is a civilizational crisis. It's a crisis in consciousness, and I know what caused it. And with that peace conference, that's going to be the first step of me saying, I'm done with this. I don't want to know about liability anymore. I'm going to do this conference and talk about everything that I need to talk about. I'll have an hour's time, and then I'm done with this. I've done everything that I wanted to do, and I want to move on. I want to study shamanism. I want to get deeper into the nature of reality. I don't want to be doing all this law stuff anymore. It's boring. I've had enough of it. I've done enough. And if anyone has any questions about it afterwards, okay, I'm ready to take the call, ready to explain it anytime. What I want to say is that with the experience yesterday, I realized that because it's been burdening on me. When does it ever stop? When can I ever finish this work with liability? And the earth showed me, you choose when you finish it, and you finish it now. And then you finish with the old paradigm because you understand what ended it. And then you're in the new paradigm. And then I'm inventing reality. From that transmission as my antenna, the information of the transmission from the natural field of consciousness comes in, and then I bring it into this reality. I imagine it into existence. And that's who we are. That's who we truly are. And that's what we're here to do. All right. I hope this has been helpful for you. I went on a little bit of a ramble. I never know what I say during these live streams. I have hardly anything prepared always. But I think I covered quite a lot. And it's been great having a live stream again. I thought maybe I'll just do half an hour today, but you see, it's more than an hour. I've rumbled on, and it feels good. It feels good being with you. To all out there, to all of the Gnostic Takeover crew, you're really in my heart. I always love reading the messages that you sent me, and I feel really connected to you, and I'm so thankful to witness this together and that we strengthen each other. I'll get much deeper into, because I know it's not an easy time right now. I'm just trying to share perspective and share a different perspective, because we're far from losing this. It's all a switch of perception, a switch of the radio dial away. We've suffered enough. It's the end of suffering. And I'm going to go much deeper into emotional intelligence also, and empathy and humanity. Thank you for joining me, and much love to all of you. Bye.